Hello and welcome to this episode of WN Stuff. So I switched my name. We just got over 2,000 subs, so I figured it was a good time to be a little bit more specific about what we're doing. But that's neither here nor there. Today we're going to be reacting to Giving Classic Aliens Ultimate Forms Part 2, Ben 10, the InkTank, done by none other than the very talented O.R.Ash. I'm very excited. This is one of my favorite segments to react to because it's like Saturday morning cartoons. I don't know exactly what he's got going on, but maybe he has some remodeling. Because the way he did the other ones is he like would give ultimate forms unless he didn't realize that they already had an ultimate form, and then he would like switch up another one. But I have no idea. Thank you for stumbling upon my variety channel. I am an artist and I like to make music.
Toxic, but I love it. I'm rocking, but I'm thugging. We're stopping, but I'm bugging. I hate it, but I trust it. The glue is what we lusted. The truth is where it's rusted. I guess I just don't know exactly who I'm loving.
If you would check out some of my tunes, I would greatly appreciate it. And now, without further ado, let's get into this review. Reaction. 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm excited. Yeah, the drawing matrix.
Good evening, Internet World and Universe. This is O.R.Ash, and welcome back to the Drawing Matrix. In this episode, we will be continuing our Ultimates Overhauled series. If you haven't seen either of the last videos and don't know how these drawing challenges work, we'll be listing the design rules in the description. Make sure to check out the links while you're down there. Thanks. Last time, we covered 5 of the original 10 aliens. So today, we're finishing up that playlist with the other 5.
Nice.
Ripjaws, Stinkfly, Diamond Head, Upgrade, and Ghost Freak. Let's get started.
Sorry, just needed to moisturize.
Fair enough. Moisturize me.
First up on the plate is one of my favorite original series boys, Ripjaws. Now, Ripjaws wasn't utilized very much at all. Outside the original series, he only has 5 appearances, 2 of which are splash-second cameos. He's just kind of a fish guy that spent half his screen time sounding like SpongeBob from that Tree Dome episode.
Fair enough.
Aside from the scariness of his bite, design-wise, he is just a skinny fish dude. So for his ultimate, my idea stemmed in his design first rather than his power. I wanted him to look more like one of Ben's more iconic aliens. Forearms, Humongousaur, Wrath, so that you really get that wow, glow-up worthiness of an ultimate Ripjaws.
Fair enough.
I always felt that originally he was supposed to be kind of a mix between an anglerfish and a crocodile. So for this ultimate, I thought amping up the croc aspects would help convey the amount of protein powder I shoved into his breathing apparatus when buffing him up.
We like that.
With this croc buff up, I balanced his new strength in a tanky way by shortening his limbs and enlarging his tail for more swinging attacks. One thing I wanted to add in was the rough hide of a crocodile, so he has a lot more durability to him. I didn't want to accidentally turn him into a reptile rather than a fish, so I thought, why not use the rough barbed skin of a pufferfish? It stays within the fishy family. A pufferfish is a fish. It's in the
Using
name.
nature.
As for the weird new ability that every ultimate gets, I was thinking of making him scarier. So I took inspiration from the real-life jaw-popping fish, the goblin shark. Goblin sharks have the ability to unhinge and shoot their jaws a few inches off their face so that they can catch prey easier. So I took that ability and tacked it onto this ultimate, but I made it to where he can shoot his jaw up to like 10 feet away. That would be a terrifying upgrade to his already terrifying bite. Evolutionarily, I think this guy would be a lot more of an ambush predator than his base form, lurking deep in the dark waters
and then
where
snatching
he can't
him.
be seen. Because he's trying to be more hidden, he no longer has his angler, since now instead of luring prey to him, he can just pop his jaw off and go up and grab him. Nom nom. So to recap, with this ultimate Ripjaws, his new abilities include increased strength, 10 times the base form, retractable jaw, rough barbed skin, and he can now breathe out of water, because why not? As far as the trade-off with this alien, his larger mass and shorter limbs makes him a lot slower on
Slowing him down,
He no longer has bioluminescence, and now he just permanently has a tail. Other than that, this is my first ultimate Ripjaws concept I call Crocjaws.
Crocjaws.
Ultimate Ripjaws.
I like it. Picasso.
With Jaws being one of my favorites of the original series, of course I couldn't do only one design. So, for this design, like Heat Blast in the previous video, I based it off of an old concept that I did before I was a part of the InkTank. The original idea for this guy was that I thought it would be really cool if Ripjaws could separate his body into a school of piranha that he could sick to attack people. I even themed his suit to look like a fishnet to keep them all together. Looking back, I think this is still kind of a fun idea, so I decided to just expand upon it. Now, with this new version, instead of making the symbiotic school of fish body thing attack enemies and prey, now the evolved Piscus Valon uses them as a sort of new upgraded version of a bioluminescent lure, being able to have them swim around as a distraction so that the base body, the leftover skeletal fish creature inside, can attack. This skeletal body is also equipped with some hardened scales to provide additional protection when the mass of its body is separated out into the school. I imagine this guy is roughly the size of a truck. He spends his day lurking in the darker part of the ocean, sending up his lures to distract something, then lunging up Jaws style for the kill. The biggest downside I would say for this ultimate is that it evolved for the water, so thar it stays. This guy can no longer be used on land almost at all. Not only because he's not able to breathe, but also because the pressure difference from where he resides normally is so drastically different from the surface pressure, he gets ultranobaric vertigo, or pressure dizziness. Not to mention, he got my ultimate treatment of stealing his legs, so no more land. To recap for this ultimate Ripjaws, his new abilities include a symbiotic school body form, enhanced bioluminescence, and skeletal separation. As far as his trade-offs, he's losing his land legs, both thematically and literally. This is my second ultimate Ripjaws concept that I nicknamed RGB Jaws.
RGB Jaws. That one definitely stay in the water.
Next up, we have another very underutilized alien that I love much. The mucus morpho himself, Stinkfly. Stinkfly is a pretty simple alien concept that I just find really enjoyable. Adding just random weird abilities to him didn't really feel satisfying. So I ended up finding inspiration in something I do find satisfying, a little game I call Hollow Knight. TLDR, all the characters are various bug species. And one of them, called the Gruzmother, gave me the idea for this guy. We make him thick, with a capital Ick. This ultimate Lepidopteran is a living snot factory. His body produces so much slime that it swelled into a carapaced flying loogie the size of a minivan. This new slime he produces can thicken and solidify into a state as solid as stone, used either to capture small enemies or to use as really gross defenses.
I was gonna
He's
say
able
that's
to fire
cool,
this
but
slime from the new
also,
5 sets of ocular ports circling his body, giving him full bodily coverage as well as retaining his 360 vision. Due to his immense size, his legs, like those of most of the ultimates I make, become near useless. But he does have wings to keep him moving. I actually ended up working on this concept a bit during one of our Patreon streams, and many of our Patreons pointed out that he looked a bit like Larva Max from Dr. Animo and the Mutant Ray. I didn't realize that beforehand, and when I heard that, I decided to make it look more like Larva Max.
Oh, you went just full into it.
Patrons. So, to recap for this ultimate Stinkfly, his new abilities include a new, massive, durable body, thickening slime, as well as numerous ocular ports to fire said slime from. As for
everything
his
is
trade-off,
thick.
well, his legs are now pretty much just decorative.
Bye-bye legs.
And he no longer has a stinger tail. It was replaced with one of the ocular ports. Other than that, this is my first ultimate Stinkfly concept I dub Gunk Tank.
Gunk Tank.
Ultimate Stinkfly.
I like
From
it.
struggling to think of something to realizing I almost missed a great opportunity to make a redesign, we have yet another ultimate Stinkfly. With this design, I wanted to show the Ben 10 reboot some love, and base this guy off of their iteration of Stinkfly. Now, I know a lot of people had problems with how drastically different the reboot version looked from the original series. I mean, myself included. But over time, I came to appreciate the design. So I thought, why not try to make it an ultimate Stinkfly? Because ultimate Stinkfly is related to Stinkfly, but not Stinkfly. How many times can I say Stinkfly? Stinkfly, Stinkfly, Stinkfly. I actually really like the
drinking game
of the humanoid shape.
You're no longer watching the video,
but wanted to make it a bit more insectoid to bring back some of the weird buggy goodness of the original series. Like always, I removed some legs and made him bipedal. I made his limbs longer and a lot
Bye-bye
more segmented
legs.
to give it more of an insectoid feel, while also giving him better balance support when landing or taking off. The rest of his frame is a lot smaller and more streamlined, wings included, to help give him an increase in flight speed. Now, as far as fast-flying bugs that I'm aware of, my first thought that pops up is a dragonfly.
Dragonfly.
So I tossed some dragonfly elements in there,
I love
elongating
dragonfly.
his abdomen and shrinking his thorax, also giving
Those
him
dune
those
ships
big
are
old
sick.
bug eyes. Oh, look at those eyes. I don't know. As far as weird new abilities, I thought to keep it simple and just change the effect of his slime. Explosive slime. The main reason being is that I had a really fun idea to do with his eyes. Instead of ocular ports, his eyes are now slime dispensing stalks. Light refracts through the slime bubbles surrounding his eye stalks, letting him keep his 360 vision, but now he can pull these bubbles off and throw them like sticky grenades. As another fun upgrade, his tail can now act as a syringe and inject the explosive slime into anything he can
I
send.
gotta remember that
Admittedly,
this is
I had a
Stinkfly we're
lot of
talking
fun
about.
with this one. I really like how this turned out. So, to recap for my design, his new abilities include explosive slime, detachable eye bombs, a syringe
Love
tail,
me some
and
dragonfly
a massive
wings.
increase in speed. As far as his trade-off, he loses some legs and some eyes, his wings become thinner but longer, and he overall is a bit smaller. I would say he's probably like a foot shorter than base Stinkfly. This
Okay.
is my second concept for an ultimate Stinkfly. I dub Stink Bomb.
Stink bomb.
Ultimate Stinkfly! What can this guy do?
I don't know, but I bet it's gonna be cool.
Moving right along, we are now going to be working on Ultimate Diamond Head. Something I would like to say before anything else, though. I still think that Chroma Stone should have been Ultimate Diamond Head. I advocated for this a lot in the first Ultimate video, and after looking extensively into the lore of Petrosapiens and the only Crystal Sapien, Sugilite, I honestly
It
still
reinforced
stand
your-
by my thought.
yeah.
Because holy hell, the secret of Chroma Stone is a mess of an episode. But on that note, I know that Kuro advocates for Sugilite being his own thing and not an ultimate, so out of respect and contractual obligation, I am
Hilarious.
going to be making something different. Because of the research I did on all the lore bits before working on this design, my brain had became slugs. I just went straight to the superpower wiki and kept pressing random page until I found something I could work with. What I ended up rolling with was invisibility. You know, he's a crystalline creature. That could somehow work.
Yeah, I get it.
He learns to manipulate the
Colors.
refraction of light
Yeah.
around himself to essentially go invisible. Yeah, that works. So I started sketching something up that was a much lighter, springier frame because I thought with invisibility he should probably be a
stealthy.
little bit more sneaky and stealthy like
There
a
it
ninja.
is.
So running with the ninja theme, I thought it would be cool if with his light manipulation, he could also use it to make like refracted illusions. He'd even be able to stretch this ability to the crystals he generates that aren't a part of his body, making for great decoys and sneak attacks. To top off the ninja theme to the design, I actually
love
changed
seeing the
his head
process.
shape to resemble a traditional Japanese sandogasa. They were originally used to protect the wearer from the sun, but this crystal boy uses it as a very large refractable light catch.
Okay.
He's able to bounce more refractions off of, making it to where he can stretch his illusions even further away from him. To recap
pretty
with
sick.
this ultimate, his new abilities include refracted light manipulation that he uses to make illusions and become invisible. The trade-off is that he is much smaller in mass and size, so he can move around a lot
Can't wait to see
quicker.
what the name
This
is.
is my ultimate Diamond Head concept I call Ninjem.
Oh, Ninjem.
Ultimate Diamond Head.
Okay.
This isn't a challenge, it's a slaughter fest.
Moving right along, now it is time for upgrade to get an upgrade.
Upgraded
I kept
upgrade.
seeing a lot of people suggesting that for ultimate upgrade that I simply just make him be able to enhance organic matter as well as technology. And that's not a bad idea.
But-
I don't like it though. Mainly because that just seems like we're going to be turning him into Venom. So instead, I decided to lean more into the nanite aspect of upgrade. Despite the gooey look to them, galvanic mechamorphs are actually made up of millions of nanites that can move around in very fluid shapes. So I thought, why stop at fluid? With this ultimate upgrade I'm working on, he has full conscious control over the nanite structure of his body, giving him total density shifting. From clenching them tight enough together to become solid steel masses, or separating them far enough to become metallic clouds, ultimate upgrade has full control of his physical being. And thanks to this new density
can be
shifting,
OP.
he inadvertently gains 2 additional abilities. One, he is able to upgrade and control technology remotely with nanite clouds or globs that he just separates off of his body. You know, whenever he just kind of blorps them off of his body.
Yeah.
Blorp. That's not how it works.
The second that I thought up is that now he is able to quickly scatter his structure and reform it almost instantly within 100 or foot so range, essentially giving him teleportation. Now, this full control upgrade works up quite the electric bill, so he doesn't really have enough power set aside to be able to fire optic lasers anymore, so apologies, but no more eye lasers. Another downside to this guy is that because it is still technically a transformation, he still can't fully merge with the living tissue of the Trick's user, so he ends up becoming a situation similar to Goop, where he has a central command core that controls his bodily structure. This core is a weak point to the ultimate galvanic mechamorph because it is the brain of the Trick's user as a nanite, I guess, or whatever the bioorganic semblance is. In this situation.
I'm following.
So, to recap with Ultimate Upgrade, pretty much his only new ability is density shifting, but because of said density shifting, he inadvertently also has remote control of technology and teleportation. As for the trade-offs, he is no longer able to fire optic lasers.
No more lasers.
And,
no more
again,
freaking
the
laser
central
beams.
Core. So, this is my Ultimate Upgrade that I dub Machine God.
Machine God.
Ultimate upgrade!
And now, on to the final ultimate of the
What
day.
we got?
Rounding off the original 10 aliens, we have the one transformation that said, fuck this shit, I'm out. And that is Ghost Freak. This was the toughest design for this video, and honestly, I'm still a bit iffy on it. I legitimately went through 13 different iterations of this guy before I settled on this one. I wanted to, of course, add new powers like we do with all the other ones.
I guess I wanted
them
with, like,
to be
long-looking
new
hair. That was
ghostly
neat.
powers. But Ghost Freak kind of already has all the well-known ones. So instead, I started rewatching some of Ghost Freak's episodes and eventually got to the Zscare episode. In that episode, I saw that he really struggled with possessing people and having to deal with the sun. So I thought, why not make those things not difficult for him? So, you know those striped tendrils that ectoneurites normally have on their insides? Those now hang out of the top of their heads, and he can rip them out and send them to possess people for him. Like little striped spooky snakes. When the snakes finally get to someone and successfully possess them, a new eyeball pops up on the ectoneurite's face. Then, to deal with the sun weakness, I kept going back and forth on what I actually wanted to do. In our inner system and beyond, we explained that ectoneurites are weak to the sun because when they do all the ghosty shit that they do, they're spreading their cells out, and the heat from sunlight causes them to spread too thin and dissipate. You know what? Horace explains it better. Just check out that video when you get a chance.
Horace,
but in
you can
that
tell
thought,
me, right?
the only way I could think to make him immune to the
Let me know.
sun would be to take away his density shifting and solidify him, which again, I didn't really want to do because that essentially takes the ghost out of the freak. It's just a freak. You're a freak! So I kind of compromised. The ultimate ectoneurite can no longer density shift, but their cells are locked into a semi-permeable state. This state lets them keep their intangibility, but lose their invisibility. Now, because they're stuck being intangible all the time, they actually can't physically interact with stuff. So I thought, why not give them telekinesis? It's a power that Zscare randomly has sometimes, so now we can just chalk it up as to an ability that he has all the time.
Fair enough.
Why not? And then for fun, I decided I wanted to add in some little paranormal activity vibes.
We love it.
You know how they like futz with electrical stuff? The bottom half of this ultimate ectoneurite is a completely exposed nervous system membrane. He can build up the electrical charges from his nervous system into small jolts of energy. Essentially, he could just sneak up behind someone and just give him a little shock. So, to recap for this ultimate, remote possession via spooky snake hair, minor energy manipulation, telekinesis, and sun immunity. As for his trade-offs, because we gave him sun immunity, he no longer can physically interact with things, and he now has a pretty big energy weakness.
Can't have
Other than that,
your ecto
this
cake
is
and
my
eat it
ultimate
too.
ghost freak. I dub Boltergeist.
Poltergeist. Oh, that coloration is cool.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments if you guys enjoyed these designs, because I have been racking my brain trying to come up with something decent for each of them for like 2 months.
I'll let you know, brother.
As usual, make sure you check out our links down below. Down there, we've got links to my socials where you can check out all the albedo edits of the guys that we made today, as well as our newly refurbished Twitch channel where I stream art and games 4 days a week. As always, I am O.R.Ash and I'm surviving. Are you?
Trying, bro.
Peace.
Trying. Peace. That was fantastic. As usual, so happy that I got an Ultimates video. Got a little bit of Saturday morning cartoons. I love that. Did you love that? Did you like that or this or any of this? Leave a like. If you dislike that or this or any of this, or if you just hate me, just leave a dislike. Anyway, until next time, WN stuff.
Toxic, but I love it. I'm rocking, but I'm thugging. We're stopping, but I'm bugging. I hate it, but I trust it. The glue is what we lusted. The truth is where it's rusted. I guess I just don't know exactly who I'm loving. Gotta wait my